So I'm just going to turn this back on to high because I just wanted to stop it for a few moments. Now it's starting to turn to butter, and the butter is separating from the whey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it just go on high just for a couple of, maybe 40 seconds before I start to turn it down. So if you look inside the bowl, I'm just going to shut it off so you have a better look. So if you look inside the bowl, you can see the butter is being made, and you'll see all that whey. So really it's like a lot of liquid in there. That's your butter separating from the whey. But what you want to do is turn your beater now on low. I love these electric mixers because they're so much quicker, so much handier, and you get the job done a lot faster. So I'm going to turn it down to about 5. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to get my gloves back on. You can also use your bare hands, but you might really want to wash them really, really well. Because you don't want no bacteria to go into your butter. So if you look a little closer, I'm just going to take this lid off a little bit while it's mixing. So have a look. You will see the butter in there being made. And when it gets to that stage, you want to turn it down lower and lower. Because what I'm trying to do is to make sure that that whey is coming out of that butter so that it saves me a lot of work. So you can just see it separating. That's just from whipping cream, folks. That's how you make butter. That's what I love about this. So now it looks like it's ready. So I'm going to shut it off. So what I'm going to do is just making sure all the butter comes off of my mixer, because it is nice and hard. See, look at that texture. Isn't that wonderful? That's wonderful texture for butter. Don't be afraid if you do this and all of a sudden your butter's white. Like I said, you could get white butter, you can get yellow butter. It's just going to be depending upon which cow was used at that local, shop, farming shop, right? And I also want to add, you can also use fresh farm milk as well to do this, but refrigerate it first. Goat's milk works great. Just refrigerate it first. Don't separate it. Just throw it in there and let it do its work. Or what I mean by don't separating it is like don't play with it too much. What you want to do is set it in the fridge. If it is real cow's milk or goat's milk, then you separate the cream and put it in a separate bowl before starting. If you're using fresh milk or fresh cream, sorry. So I'm just going to set this here for now. And what I'm going to do next is this is just going to make things a little bit easier. So I'm going to take this, you see that whey and that butter, isn't that wonderful? And I'm just going to dump all that whey out. Look at how much butter I got from using the 946 milliliters of whipping cream. That's the small container, or the mid-sized container, sorry. You do get quite a good yield from it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let this drain off a little bit, shake it around a little bit, get all that loose whey that's on there first before I squeeze it. And I'm just gonna pop it back in this container. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a handful of this butter and I'm going to squeeze it. So what you want to do is just squeeze all that whey out of there. It's a little bit of work, just a lot of pressure is what you have to pretty much add. It doesn't really take too much, right? So what I usually do is I go like this, and then I'll squeeze it together, go like this again to kind of flatten it out a little bit, squeeze it together. I'm just going to grab a plate to set this on. I want to do it in a plate instead of a bowl, just so you have a better look at the butter. Okay, and then I'm going to gather up some more butter here, and I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to squeeze, 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 and stretch it out a little bit. So I believe I've got it all out of there now. Don't be afraid if you want to take yours over to the sink and rinse it in cold water, just to get cold water though, just to make sure that you get the outside of the, you know, any lingering away off of your butter if you want. You don't have to squeeze it or anything, just run it just like this underneath the sink for 2 seconds. And then, you know, just to rinse it off. Sometimes I just do that and sometimes I just don't, because it doesn't, the flavor's still there. So what I'm gonna do next is, this is where you'd wanna add your salt. So I'm taking half of this and I'm gonna put it over there. I wanna make sure my weights are right. And I'm gonna add 2 pinches of salt. I already prepared it ahead of time. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly work it. You kinda wanna be fast, because if your hands are hot, you don't want your butter to melt, right? So I just work it fast. And then I put it in a container here. So I'll roll it back up into a ball, flatten it out into the container. This one too, I like pepper in mine. So the second one, I'm gonna just add some crushed peppercorn. I love spicy foods, but I also love crushed peppercorn. That goes really nice in there as well. You can use regular dark pepper if you want, black pepper, gray peppers, whatever you like in your butter. You can even use dill, garlic salt, whatever you like. So that's your additives that you're adding, right? So I'm gonna take off my gloves and show you what it looks like after it's been packed in. This one's frozen. This will stay up in the freezer for 3 to 6 months. I've had it in the freezer for 6 months. I didn't find any change in it. It was very good. 3 months is better though. Because this is made out of fresh cream, it's best to keep it refrigerated, because if you leave it out on your cupboard for too long, you risk it going sour, right? Because it is a fresh product with no additives. It's wonderful. It tastes great. It has a real smooth taste to it.
Did you mention the health benefits?
Yeah, the benefits, to the health benefits is great. It's actually bone healthy, lots of vitamin A and D, like I had said. It's also no preservatives. So you're not getting that extra stuff in there that, you know, this is just strictly healthy. It's very good, very light, tastes great. Yeah, I love that taste. So that's just simple, 2 ingredients. That's all you need to make butter. And this will yield you quite a bit of butter from this jug. So I hope this you will enjoy it and try it. And I'll be back soon with my next video on how to make cheese just using two products. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.